Hey there, this is Alyssa. Welcome back to Unlocking the True You. So, today, what we're going to talk about as far as continuing to make your mind your home and continuing to develop that best relationship and best friendship with yourself as your own best friend is a way of going through your healing journey and realizing what is intrusive thoughts, what is pain, and what is something that's trying to liberate you through humbling you. And self humiliation is a harsh term and a harsh word to put onto the fact. So I prefer humbling you and liberation, because things that are liberating aren't always pleasing to your ego and pleasing to your self gratification parts of, your mind when it comes to healing and such things like that. So, first, let's cover discernment. Discernment is when you are thinking a thought process, or you're faced with a decision, or faced with someone else's thoughts, or faced with a situation or a conversation or any kind of bit of information, you are to have a filter system in your own mind and receptivity that is discernment. And what I mean by this is kind of using this like process for your own personal filter, whether you need to ask yourself, is this something that actually resonates with me? Is it something that I feel is important on a good soul level in my heart and in my mind? Um, and also seeing if it's information that's good for you to have, information that is useful for you and that will help you in your life. And if it's not, then of course that's part of using your discernment. If it's something that does feel good to you in your heart and mind, then that is using your discernment. If it is information that will help you to be more knowledgeable, then that is using your discernment. So that's why it is a good thing to have discernment as a tool and as that filtration system when it comes to you letting your life um, letting yourself absorb things. And what I want to say is imprinting, because I just have this own view and own perspective on this world and on everything that I experience and have experienced. And as I've grown and developed into who I am today, I have a very unique vocabulary and verbiage and perspective on things. So I will use terms that are kind of out there, I guess, for most people, but it's stuff that's very much in resonance with me. Um, so, of course, I'm hoping that this all just helps for you to bring some kind of growth, some kind of relation, some kind of resonance, some kind of ideology, honestly, to help you in some sense of the way in your healing journey. And so when you use discernment, you also want to see if it's good or bad information for you to take upon imprinting. And when I say imprinting, I mean you are taking it as your own. You're taking it as a belief, because that's what you want to do when you discern things. You can't just listen to everything you see out in this world and say, oh my God, this is the truth, this is the facts. But you also don't want to be so dependent on the facts and on the truth of everything outside of yourself that you don't know how to make decisions for yourself and you don't know what to believe. Because then you're always going to look outside of yourself for everything. And part of the spiritual journey and part of us as energetic beings are to be our own compass in our heart, mind, body, and soul, making ourselves our own best friend. So you do want to make sure that you are using discernment as this filtration system to let information sink into your soul, sink into your heart, sink into your mind, and become who you are. And so that's why discernment is honestly a big forefront of everything that I use and do in my life when it comes to taking in information, learning new things, actually even just hearing about news and things going on in the world. If it's one of those things, if it doesn't feel good for you, then I understand it exists. I understand it's there. I'm not saying be negligent to what's going on in the world. If you look at my actual personal pages, um, my name is Alyssa Wright. If you look at my personal pages, you'll see that I'm somebody to speak the truth. I'm somebody to pay attention to worldviews and what's going on in the world, not just in America, but in other countries, as well as, wildlife and nature. And I am one of those people that I do look at it with an honest eye and an honest opinion, but I'm also one of those people that do not try to imprint on others. I don't try to give my opinion to somebody else as if it's something that they need to take and receive for their own, because I do realize how delicate, how important it is for you to intake information, especially when you don't have a proper filtration system. You will listen to other people a lot more than what you should. And I'm not saying don't listen to people, don't talk to people. You can always do that, but you don't have to take it in. You don't have to soak it up. You don't have to be like quite so spongy in the process of, oh, I agree. I believe that. You can agree with some things, but you still don't have to believe that that's true for you. Somebody can tell you a fact about something, and yes, it can still be true, but it doesn't mean it's something that you need to take on as your own and make that part of your daily life unless you want to. And I use my discernment process in order to make sure that it's something that I am wanting to have in my daily life, in my daily practice, and in my mind as a new belief system. And this is part of growing and healing because you are wanting to continue to develop your mind, continue to develop your heart, and heal this and create lightness within yourself while going through your daily life and still taking in new information from all kinds of people all around the world. And so this is why I think discernment is extremely important, honestly, because you want to make sure and have that to help build your self security within yourself. And this is part of yourself becoming your own best friend because you are actually saying, this is what I want to live with versus what they think that you should live with. Or this is a belief that I really think would benefit me and help me to become a better person. And that's like learning different things about discipline that you might not have thought about before. That's good discernment where you're like, wow, I never thought about this perspective. I never thought about doing this thing, and it really could benefit me. And I want to try to do it. Maybe not the same way that they do it, but kind of look into different ways of fitness. There's all kinds of ways of fitness, all kinds of ways to get yourself moving in different modalities for healing. There's yoga, there's physical exercise, there's going to the gym. There's different cultural ways of movement, and I do not want to say the wrong term, so I do not want to say specific techniques just because I'm not trying to offend anyone. And that's just something that I resonate with and that I have used with my own discernment because I have felt that other people and myself deserve that kind of mutual respect. And so that's why I try to give that same respect. And that's why I have that part of my discernment as well, that I like having self respect. So I like to show respect from myself in order to receive it to myself. And so I really hope this kind of helps break down some things in some ways, whether good and bad discernment and things that you can use to take on with imprinting or things that you can choose to not take on with imprinting. Um, and I'm trying to think, I feel like spirit's kind of telling me like, hey, there's one more thing you need to talk about. There's one more thing. But it's kind of drawing a blank right now. But I really hopes this video helps you. I know it's a super short video. I can check in with spirit if you don't mind and just kind of see what else they might have for me. Okay, they told me self love is a very big part of discernment. They're telling me self love in the process of discernment and self love in the process of becoming your own best friend and nurturing yourself. And I think that they're just telling me this because this is something that anytime that I go through a healing process, I refocus onto myself, sorry, so that I do bring more self love. So I do bring that more nurturing factor into myself each and every time, no matter what. And so I think that they want me to focus on that integration of self love and self care and nurturing yourself, whether you're a man or a woman or whoever you identify as. Self love is something that's meant for each and every one of us as energetic beings, just so you know, as well as discernment, as well as being your own best friend, as well as having your own mind be your home, type of things like that. Like, this is not gender based, this is not anything like that. But I do know that a lot of the times society has this certain fit projection of what certain people play roles in depending on gender and things like that. So I just want to let you know that you are able to and should nurture yourself no matter who you are and what you are. And so they want me to help you to focus on that factor as well, and the fact that discernment with self-love is something that's going to take you further than discernment without taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself along the way in the process. So just make sure and kind of keep that in mind whenever you go through the process of discernment, the process of healing, the process of uncovering different truths within yourself and lies within yourself, because boy, I faced them all. I would like to think we all have and are continuing to, because the truth that you find within yourself and the lies that you find within yourself help you to uncover and unlock the true you. And so that's why I'm here to help you to unlock the true you, to help yourself find yourself on this self discovery journey that we are called life. We are all energetic beings. We are all here and all meant to be here so that we can become our own true selves, our own happiest versions of ourselves that's free, that has no sense of judgment for ourselves and others, that has no sense of pain, no sense of trauma, no sense of, I don't know, fear. Fear is a big thing in this world. And I think that it's one of those things that's like becoming more and more prominent as this is for protection, but really it's not. Because I understand, you should be knowledgeable of things that'll help to protect yourself, but you should not live in fear. So just kind of keep that in mind. Use that in your discernment process too. Is it something that puts me in fear? Is it something that's going to change my happiness in my daily life? If it is, maybe I should work through those layers of beliefs or what somebody told me about this bit of information and kind of see how I can rise above it as a tool in my life and a way for me to benefit from it personally in a good way through my heart, my mind, and my body and my soul, rather than letting it stay on top of me in fear. It's kind of how spirit's laying it out for me. And I think how I've kind of laid it out for myself too. So I hope this helps. Just kind of taking that fear, no matter what that fear is, and looking at it, facing it. Because honestly, how else are you supposed to heal other than to feel, other than to think, other than to take every bit of that energy that is in you and creating resistance and creating stagnancy, creating pain, creating anything that's holding you back. You have to face it. You have to look at it. And then you have to see how you can rise above it and how you can make peace with it. And that's part of shadow work too. I try not to use too many spiritual terms. I can't help it though. Honestly, it's just my own perspective. But whenever you do face those darker parts of yourself and you integrate them into ways to help yourself, that's all our pain really is ways to protect ourselves. But we have turned our pain into ways that control us rather than to help us. And so that's part of shadow work, is really just facing the pain, the darkness, facing the judgments of yourself, facing the judgments you have on other people, facing the fears that you have on yourself and on other people, and finding out how to use that in a way that benefits you and uplifts you and liberates you. Boy, these terms are just repetitive. And it's like that for a reason, because this is how I've integrated my process of healing, is by realizing what these terms and what these actual words mean and how you can actually put them in action, how you can actually use it in your daily life with liberation and with making sure you have discernment and with making sure that you are humbling yourself in the process, that you love yourself in the process, you're nurturing yourself, you're taking care of yourself, and you are making it to where you are your own best friend in all of the right ways. Because you can't sit there and say, I'm my own best friend, but I really make sure and talk all kinds of bad shit about myself whenever I eat unhealthy. That's not exactly a way to be your own best friend. I mean, I understand humbling and liberation, and maybe it's really not good for you to eat fried stuff because it makes you feel really terrible. And I'm speaking on this from personal experience because I can't do that kind of stuff. Or how I can't do dairy. Oh, I really love eating cheese on everything. It's a huge thing in the American diet. But at the same time, it creates upset in my stomach. It gives me adult acne. And I think about those things and how can I love myself more other than to recognize what my body is telling me that it is not agreeing with, and respecting that process, and not out of punishment, not out of, shame or saying, oh my gosh, you are not doing right to yourself and to your body. Because really, it's a healing journey. Everyone has their own process, everyone has their own timeline, everyone has their own ways to go through things, and no one is going to be in the same process. We might cross paths, which is great, but no one is going to be having it done the same way, which is part of why I'm here, to help you to see how much freedom there is and how much liberation there is and how much happiness and self-love there is in the healing journey, in the process of unlocking the true you. Because as you continue to go through these layers of yourself inwards inside of yourself, you can continue to find what is holding you back and what can make you happier, in ways that you can discover new things. There's different cultural meals that I never would have thought about cooking when I was younger, never would have thought about even trying to make, until I had that intolerance to dairy. And I said, wow, I really love the fact that I expanded and I listened to my body, and I decided to say, I love you so much. I want to give you what you want and have you still enjoy the taste of food, enjoy what you eat, enjoy everything that you have, while taking care of yourself. And I am talking about my body in third person because that's just my perspective. And so that's also kind of a beautiful thing about life, is having different perspectives, gaining new perspectives, expanding your mind as you heal, as you grow, as you have that discernment, and as you have liberating moments and continue to create your own home within your mind, and have your own self as your own best friend. um, so I know that this was a lot of information. I just kind of get going when I get going, and I hope that everyone has enjoyed this as much as I have. I love coming on here. It has been a minute, and I will admit it is because I was sick with some like congestion and I started to lose my voice. And it was one of those things, you just can't talk like how I want to talk. And boy, do I ramble. So I just want to make sure and tell everyone that I am planning on being more consistent, but also life happens and it's a very real thing and it's nothing to be ashamed of. We just have to take care of ourselves in the process, nurture ourselves, and that's exactly what I did. And so I hope that this video and this session of Unlocking the True You with Alyssa has helped in some sense of the way. Um, and continue to do your healing. And I don't want to say work, because it's not work. It's something that can be a passion. It's something that can feel good, because there's different ways to heal, whether it's expression, it's art, it's doing self work in your mind, it's doing movement in your body to get rid of emotions and things like that, because you want to keep your energy in motion. um, you want to make sure and have a constant flow of energy so that you can heal, because dis-ease in your body emotionally turns into dis-ease in your body physically. You can look up different ways that that is and different beliefs. It's becoming more and more solidified in science, looking into the science realm of everything, quantum science, quantum physics, as well as just typical regular Western medicine is what the rest of the world calls it. Just realize that there is an expansive world within you, and to continue to go within to unlock your true self with love, with liberation, discernment, light, and positivity and grace. And yeah, until next time, we will continue to talk together, and always leave comments for me. Always leave any kind of information that you would like to share with me. Any questions you have, I can try to address in other videos and such. As of right now, I'm not getting many views, but hey, I do this because I love it. I don't do it for the views. I love you guys so, so much, and continue to do everything that makes you feel good and feel liberated in this life. Until next time, goodbye.